Have you ever felt like at night your house comes to life and after you fall asleep, everything decides to come back out and you wake up and your home has exploded? That kitchen countertop that you cleared off that night is all of a sudden covered again with everything in the kitchen sink? Then today's video will hopefully help you. I have been downsizing and organizing my home the past 6 years and learning a few things along the way that have helped me to wake up in the morning not feeling gaslit by my house. These 5 practical tips aren't huge decluttering sessions or organizing for hours. These are very simple, easy tricks that you can start doing throughout your day in order to wake up and feel like your home is still manageable and that when you clean that kitchen, it stayed that way at least for a little while. Let's be honest, one of the hardest things to stop doing is stuff shuffling. And basically that means when you pick up something around your house, you don't have a home, you don't have a zone in where it should go. And so we just, move it somewhere, right? And try to stuff it in that drawer in the back and forget about it as long as humanly possible. If that's you, then you're also a stuff shuffler, and that's okay, because that's exactly how my brain likes to work. I had to stop stuff shuffling in order to have a clutter-free home because I realized that so often I was just moving things. I didn't need them. I didn't know why I had them. They were just out. They had no place to go. And so instead of stuff shuffling and moving things around, throughout my day when I pick up an object, I have to identify where it can go, and I also have to identify why do I need it? Think about your house as a living creature. Everything in it is some little animal or plant. It has a mind of its own and it's gonna move around and keep annoying you until you figure out where it should really be in your home. So if you're like me and stuff shuffling is something that you struggle with, then I want you to look around your house right now and identify a few things that you see are out of place. Maybe they were just stuck anywhere on the couch or on a countertop because you didn't know where they should go. I want you to answer, do I really need this? When's the last time I used it? Do I have something similar to this that could work just as well? If you're saying yes to all of those things and it does need to stay, then before you move it around one more time, I want you to identify what room that you need it the most in and what are some other like objects that could go with it. We want our brains to be able to find these things that we need to keep in our home. And when we just stuff shuffle things around and throw them in any possible bin that has a little bit of space, we never find them when we really need them. All right, I told you guys we were keeping this easy. So the next one is a 2-minute tidy up. It's one of those things that often I overlooked. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And yet I'd wake up in the morning and my home would be a complete and utter disaster. What was the big reason? I never could figure it out. Why is my home always cluttered? And yet on Saturday, I'm spending all this time cleaning and by Tuesday, it looks like a train wreck. It was because it's more important to do tiny 2-minute declutters throughout your day or tidy ups throughout your day than it is to do a full whole house cleanup on Saturday. It just works so much better. And when I realized that, now every single day, I do this without even thinking. I do this without setting a timer because now I've trained my brain to know that these tiny tidy ups make a huge difference. And it's kind of that dopamine hit that I need throughout the day to know that, hey, I am getting things done and I'm being really proactive. So it can be anything from getting the mail, immediately throw it away. Wipe up the countertop after you use it. Put the dish in the dishwasher instead of just throwing it in the sink. Or what I do all of the time is in our living spaces, I'm just constantly on the look of putting things away and putting them back where they should go because let's be honest, I'm not the kind of person who always puts things back away after I use them, though I try. I'm not perfect. So a lot of times there'll just be things out, not where they should go. And that's where the 2-minute tidy makes so much sense. Don't wait till the end of the night and have to do a 15 to 20-minute cleanup because often if you're like me, you're too tired, you don't want to. But as soon as you get home, if you notice one little area, as soon as you're done doing a craft, you notice the table is messy, go ahead and clean it up and tell yourself this is only gonna take 2 minutes, so it's really not that big of a deal. Before we move to the next one, I wanted to thank today's sponsor, Monarch Money. They have changed the way we do our finances, especially since downsizing and buying this house. If you're like me and you always got really frustrated by having to pull up all of these apps, never really knowing exactly where your money was going at the end of the month, then Monarch Money is a great place to start. I always felt like I was doubling up on subscriptions, which would get really frustrating because it was hard to find exactly where this money was going. But also in buying this house, we wanted to make sure that we were tracking exactly the money that we were spending on this house and making some goals for ourselves to know that we are using our finances wisely. And Monarch Money has been a place that's really built our confidence, and it also allows you to make some long-term and short-term goals for your future. So if you're looking for a place that you can really start in looking at exactly where all your money is going at all times and building that confidence that all of us want in our financial life, then Monarch Money is a great place to start. You can get 50% off your first year by using the QR code or the link in the description, and use my code MINIMAL50 when signing up for your free trial. All right, so I think we've all heard that reset before you go to bed idea, and it's great. But honestly, the first thing that I would say to you, especially if you're somebody like me who gets really tired and then once you're tired, you're not doing anything, right? Is that you want to do this evening reset while you're still up and moving. So maybe right after dinner, do the reset. And it came down to finding what are the most important things for me to make me feel better in the morning. It's not going to be the same for everybody. That's where you're going to have to create that kind of flow list, that list in your head that is the things that are most important to you. So for me, I have a daughter, so I like to make sure that her lunch is made, that her snack is ready to go the next day. I also like to make sure that the dishes are in the dishwasher and that I've set that to go. So in the morning, I'm ready, or my husband is ready to put all those away. And if I've done that small load of laundry, I like to just make sure that those clothes are drying or put away in the evening, and the general spaces, living spaces, are cleared and ready to go. Doesn't mean it needs to be perfect. Really, this should only take you between 5 and 10 minutes, but I want you to pick a few things, 3 to 4 things that are always important for you to have ready the next morning. And that's what's going to be in your evening reset right after you eat dinner or right before you start lounging on the couch like I like to do. You're going to get these things done so that you're making your life easier for the next day. When I don't do an evening reset, the next morning, I'm always running around like a crazy person, getting things done, and the rooms just start to feel more and more cluttered. It's amazing how one evening of not being prepared and getting prepared for the next day can really throw you off and make it so that the next morning is just that little bit harder. And so I definitely challenge you to make a list of maybe 3 to 5 things that are really important for you and pick the best time before you are exhausted to make sure they're done. I will say with all of these, I no longer set timers. I don't need them because I've been able to train my brain to know how long these things usually take me. And that means that I'm not procrastinating. But if you procrastinate and don't want to do these kind of things, and that's the reason you never get started, it's really good to set a timer, because once you identify how long it takes you to make the bed, how long it takes you to put the dishes away, and you realize that it doesn't even take me 5 minutes, it takes me 2 minutes to put the dishes away, you're more likely to want to do it, and you're more likely to be able to get over that initial hump that is stopping you from getting started. All right, real quick, if you want to join the community here, then please subscribe and join us. We're a lot of fun. But also, if you are decluttering and organizing with us already, then throw a heart emoji down below, because we all like to know we are not alone on this crazy journey. So going along with that reset and that 2-minute tidy up, I want you to pick a flat surface that's cluttered tonight, and you're going to clean it along with those resets. So you're going to put the laundry away, maybe you're going to put the dishes in the dishwasher and start it. Well, I want you to pick a flat surface that you can also clear. A lot of times ours was the dining room table or the coffee table, and it would just be covered with stuff. And what would I do? I would say it takes too long. I'm going to procrastinate. I'm not going to get it done. I also didn't know where all these things went, so it made it a lot harder. You see how these are kind of dominoes, a domino effect? If you are stuff shuffling and moving all your crap around and you don't have a home for it, it's a lot harder to put your things away. If you don't do a 2-minute tidy up throughout the day, then your flat surfaces are exploding and you don't want to do it because it's going to take too long. So in the evening, along with that reset, you're going to pick one flat surface and you're going to tidy it up. You're going to wipe it down with a rag so that it looks good and ready for the next morning. For me, when it comes to flat surfaces, less is best. So for me, a lot of my flat surfaces have barely anything on them that I keep on them all year round. When it comes to my coffee table, all I have is a little basket that has remotes in it that we need and my chapstick. And sometimes we have a little book or a coffee table game that we'll keep on there, but very simple. And for my dining room table, basically, it might be flowers, but it's gonna be very, very simple. Usually it's absolutely nothing. And that means that when I have to pick that flat surface that I need to reset in the evening, it is really easy because nothing belongs there. Okay, this last one's kind of funny because if I was telling myself this 6 years ago, I would have laughed out loud, right in my face. But the last thing that I tend to do every single day is a quick vacuum or a mop. Kind of depends on how messy the floors have gotten and how much mud has been dragged in, but it's either one or the other. And one of the big reasons why is I do have 2 dogs and I have a daughter who's 8. So I need to clean the floors every night because they're a hot mess. Now we have downsized 600 square feet. So honestly, cleaning the floors is a breeze. So much easier. I have a robot vacuum that I can either set off if I'm going to be outside the house a lot, or I have a small handheld vacuum that is extremely light and easy to do. So I don't mind doing it. You have to make these little habits as easy as possible. Take the least amount of time as possible in order for you to want to do them. If you haven't been doing them and your home is always cluttered, it's because you are overcomplicating them or you think they're going to be harder than they really are. At least that was always my problem. And so timers really help, and bringing in things that are going to make these chores easier. When I'm doing a reset, I like to have a little basket with me so that I can throw everything in. And then if I have time at the end of my reset, I can put them away. If I'm too tired, honestly, we're good. I can do it another day. And that's also why I have vacuums that make my life easier. If I don't have time, I can set my vacuum to go. If I do have time, that means that I can get in the corners a little bit better and get up all that dog hair. The key here, friends, is to make these habits easy for yourself and to train your brain, trick your brain, but not really, into knowing that these aren't going to be as hard as you really think they are. And that comes down to making sure that you are consistent with these things. It wasn't until I started making my bed every single day that I realized that I didn't want all the extra pillows because it made it too complicated for me. I want it to be as simple as possible. And then, you know what? I became successful and I make my bed every single day. It's amazing, even for us that have a hard time building habits. I'm raising my hand because it's me. We can do these things and make our lives so much easier when we start to realize that we've been overcomplicating this stuff for way too long, and we can definitely be successful when we simplify and scale back. All right, friends, if you have enjoyed this, which I certainly have, then I want you to watch one of these videos right here because I have a lot more to share, and I wish you guys all the very best.